this is just an exciting moment for me in a variety of ways in my life and in my business. What I see occurring right now in Kannaway is unlike anything that I've experienced any time in recent memory. And of course I know that we have people now logging onto the session who have a variety of different experiences. And I'm going to move just a little bit so get the sunlight off of me, but no, that made it worse. Let's do it one more time. Okay, so I'll occupy this little space and get rid of the sunlight. I'm having some experiences right now that I haven't had for a very long time, and that gives me reason to believe that you can likewise have experiences perhaps for the first time, or maybe you can have a measure of success that equals or eclipses whatever your past greatest success was. I realize that we have people here this evening who are looking at our business for the very first time, and so the first part of my commentary is designed for those who are looking at our business and trying to determine if this is something that you may want to pursue. And then beyond that introduction, I invite those people to stay on as I recognize a little bit of accomplishment for our first handful of days and a couple of weeks in the business, and also as I talk about some what I think are very, very exciting announcements, things to come in the next just handful of days, some things available right now. And so, for those just looking at our business, Kannaway, what is Kannaway? And I could now respond to this question a variety of ways. What is Kannaway? Well, it's a direct selling company. Kannaway certainly represents an income opportunity for many of us. But what is Kannaway at its core? What is Kannaway? I believe that Kannaway is the CBD company. And when I say CBD, that stands for cannabidiol. And then the question of what does that mean to you? And for those who may be absolutely brand new to this discussion, first of all, I'll candidly and freely admit that I am not an expert on CBD or cannabidiol. This light's going to chase me wherever I go, isn't it? Okay, it's going to follow me on over here too, probably. But what I have had is the opportunity to meet several times with Dr.STUART, who is the CEO of the parent company of Kannaway, which is Medical Marijuana, Inc. And I've come to understand this following important bit of information, that in the family tree of cannabis, there are two prominent branches. And one branch over here is the marijuana branch, and that marijuana branch is principal value is in growing a bud that contains THC. And of course we know that the principal purpose for THC is to get people high. And I'm not making an opinion of whether that's good or whether it's bad. That's just what it is. On the other side, when we hear discussion of medical marijuana, what people are primarily speaking to is the other side of the family tree, and that is hemp as opposed to marijuana. It's in the cannabis family, but it is not the same plant. And where the marijuana leaf contains significant amounts of THC and tinier trace amounts of cannabidiol, cannabidiol being the primary health component. On the other side of the family tree, CBD is the principal nutrient, and it has trace amounts of THC. Now, I will acknowledge here at the very outset that there are some who will be either unwilling or unable to use a product that has any THC at all in it. That certainly is possible if a person has a job testing. Maybe if one is in recovery, there may be a reason to want to stay away from even that trace amount. For that person, I'm happy to say that the company will introduce next week a product called GSHO X, which means that it has zero, not even a trace amount of THC in it. Now, I will state I've listened very carefully to everything that TITUS says, and he indicates that to the extent that one is comfortable with those trace amounts, and I again emphasize trace amounts of THC, that THC winds up being an activator for some of the health properties of CBD, and so that would be the desired product mix, unless a person has an absolute unwillingness to have any THC whatsoever in their system. So what is Kannaway? Kannaway is, in my estimation, the CBD company. This is not simply a source. This is the source of CBD. What is CBD? I'm very careful the way that I do this next portion. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical expert, but I encourage you to Google CBD and. Google CBD and something that is challenging in your life or the life of someone that you love. Google CBD and Alzheimer's disease. Google CBD and metastatic breast cancer. Google CBD and diabetes 1. Google CBD and diabetes 2. Google CBD and ALS, Google CBD and macular degeneration, Google CBD and irritable bowel syndrome, CBD and Crohn's disease, and on and on and on it goes. And then look not just at what customers say, but look at the published studies, peer-reviewed studies that appear in medical journals, and you will probably join me in this opinion that if in fact Kannaway is the CBD company, that this represents importance to us in terms of our own personal health in the future and today. And for those who have any entrepreneurial spirit whatsoever, without question, Kannaway being the CBD company represents opportunity. Man, I'm going to try not to talk so long about every slide, as that would be here all night, and I don't want to do that. I want to keep in. What is Kannaway? Kannaway is a company that's built on these pillars. I've come to know the owners of the company very well, and I really like them. I really care for these people, and I love the fact that this is a family-oriented business. For me, that becomes very tangible because my son Blake is the CEO of the company. So for me, certainly it's a family-oriented business. It is sustainable. I interacted with a woman just a couple of days ago who told me that her family owns a commercial fishing operation, and we talked about the fact that the Pacific Ocean sometimes looks like a dump yard with all of the plastic that is floating around out there. Are you aware that in addition to CBD, that plastic bottles can be made from hemp? The day will come in the not too distant future, I believe, when hemp will again become a major industrial crop in America as it once was. The product is sustainable. It's literally impossible to run out of it. We can be producing everything from lumber that makes homes, therefore not needing to deforest the world anymore, to no longer being dependent upon fossil fuels. There is so much one can do with hemp. The possibilities are limitless, and it is sustainable. It grows very, very quickly and can be grown in many environments. It is driven by science. One of the great advantages that I have is in my very, very high belief level of what we're doing, and that probably is influenced by the fact that I've had the benefit of listening to Stuart Titus. He's been in my home several times, and I've listened to him here and elsewhere, and I'm completely confident that this is a company that is driven by science. It's not, the scientific part of our message is not taken lightly at all, and we're all natural and we're all botanical. That's what Kannaway is. And this for me is very, very important. And I could speak to each of you individually. I could say, Darren, this is important to you. Christopher, this is important to you. Ed, pay close attention now, Doug and Barbara. This is a company of firsts. And there is a different kind of opportunity that is made available when you are part of a company of firsts. I've experienced that a couple of times in my life. A few years ago, I was involved with a company that brought to market the first natural alternative to statin drugs that would reduce cholesterol and not have the negative side effects that statin drugs have. It was the first cholesterol reduction agent that would actually improve health, and because we were first, we became the foundation on which other companies built, and those of us who fashioned and crafted that message did extremely well financially. A few years later, I was involved with the company, the first one to really popularize the acai berry, and what happened as a result was mind-blowing. And now, of course, there are many, many, many companies who've done the same thing. This is a company of first. This is the first company to create a mainstream, natural, botanical CBD or cannabidiol brand. This is the first company to launch a respected cannabinoid supplement and pharmaceutical line. This is the first company offering CBD to develop strict quality control standards through rigorous triple lab testing. This is the first direct sales company to offer hemp products. This is the first company to use hemp to combat aging, skin problems, and low vitality. It is simply the truth that when one is first and has an opportunity to create the market and to be in front of it, that a different kind of opportunity exists than when one simply hops on the bandwagon. I promise you the bandwagon is coming. That day will come. This is a company of first, and that creates for you, for me, for all of us, a very different kind of opportunity. On this session, I'm not going to take time describing the history of hemp. I'm instead going to invite you to go to Kannaway.com, and on the Kannaway.com homepage, you will see two videos there. Click the one that says, number 1. Click the first one. And in so doing, you will learn the history of hemp. And you will see that there was a time when it was one of the most important crops in America. I believe that time will return. I'm not sure when. But when you understand that history, I think you'll have a vision of what this company can be and what it can become over time. I've learned in listening to Dr. TITUS speak that our bodies actually produce as a natural part of our being, we produce cannabinoids in our system. Our body is designed to burn cannabinoids, to use cannabinoids in a variety of health regulating and health evoking functions. And there was a time not so many generations ago when, in addition to what our body produced, we consumed a lot of cannabinoids. We consumed it because hemp was a major product. We consumed it because it was in the food chain. Cattle consumed hemp and chickens consumed hemp. And so the beef that we ate, the pork that we ate, the chicken's eggs that we consumed, and all the poultry that we ate generations ago, that cannabinoid system was being supported. In recent years, since the eradication of hemp as a crop in America, those same systems have been starved, and the results are seen in a variety of illnesses today being very, very prominent in America that simply didn't exist only a few generations ago. And so this endogenous cannabinoid system is now recognized. It's actually taught and discussed in one of 7 medical schools in America, with that number growing on a monthly or an annual basis. It's the human body's largest self-regulatory system, influences homeostasis. This is why when somebody asks me if it will help me, each one says, Randy, will this help me, my condition? Well, it influences homeostasis. What is homeostasis? It just means that the body's in a state of balance. If your body, if our body, if my body is in a state of balance, if it's doing everything as well as it can, then that, of course, influences almost everything. That's why a person who lacks energy will get up from our product, and while another person who has all the energy in the world and can't sleep will also be benefited from our product, because homeostasis, that center line, that state of peace and ease and comfort, that center line, that's what we seek, and that's what the endogenous cannabinoid system regulates. It balances mood, sleep, appetite, and hormone production. There's a lot to this. By the way, the human body has more CB1 and CB2 receptors than it does have opioid receptors. That's why the product is so very, very remarkable in dealing and addressing pain, both pain that is situational as a result of accident or injury, and pain that is a result of inflammation coming from the aging process. So it's an extraordinarily important idea, an important concept and process that we're involved with. I could spend time talking about each product offering. Tonight I'm going to speak only about the Revive group. We could be talking about the CanActive skincare product group. We could be talking about the Define skincare product group. In the sake and interest of time, I'm going to speak of only one product group tonight, that being the Revive product line. And I wish so much that each of you could have been with me last time Stuart Titus was here speaking. I wish you could be with me next time he speaks. Perhaps at some time soon I'll have him participate on this web session, which is weekly. And you would then learn why it is we should each be consuming 50 milligrams of cannabidiol, 60 milligrams of CBD per day. If one consumes on a daily basis, as suggested, Revive Pro, Revive AM, Revive Midday Balance Caps, and Revive PM, if we consume these as encouraged by the company and by Dr. Titus himself, we will then in fact be consuming 50 milligrams of CBD per day. If we consume 50 milligrams of CBD per day, I've become convinced that this gives us the greatest opportunity to preserve health and perhaps restore anything I've seen maybe ever in my life. The Revive SAD is topical, it's situational, it's to address pain that exists. And I would suggest to you all that if you are not consuming, if you're not using each of these products, you simply must. You simply must. And that's not taking any importance away from the skincare product offerings. It is simply applying proper importance to this group of product offerings. Our cause. Once again, I live in San Diego and the company is based in San Diego, and so I do have a handful of advantages. I'm at the company frequently, and I get to see the video clips as they're being edited, and I see these most amazing videos of children that would seem to be completely hopeless, suffering sometimes 150 or 200 seizures per week from the most difficult to address form of epilepsy, and seeing them be reduced to 0 seizures in a week. One of the most amazing, it's hard to even say it and believe that it's true, but one of the most amazing examples is a child who had neither sight or hearing, who as a result of using these products for a relatively short period of time is now able to follow her father's hand across the room. There's a video coming on this shortly for you to see it. A child that was sightless being able to follow her father's hand with the only thing that's changed being the consumption of CBD in significant quantity. A child who had no hearing whatsoever that was measurable, able to begin to respond. I get to see these video clips in advance of their introduction to other people, and I want everybody to see what I've seen. I want everybody to see the importance of what we're doing. And what is the company's cause? It's called the CAN Effect. The company provides products to children whose families otherwise could not afford them in any way. Could be happening anywhere. Principally, it's happening in Brazil and in Mexico, and it's really quite amazing. It's a miraculous story almost. In this session, once again, because there are people who are brand new looking at our business, trying to decide if this is a venture that's appropriate for you, I will make just a very, very brief comment on the compensation plan itself. If there's one area of my greatest strength in direct selling or network marketing, it is in compensation methodologies. It's in understanding what behaviors a compensation plan should provoke and what behaviors it should reward. It's in understanding the critical need of providing financial viability for people early in the business. And here I wish that I could just scream this from the rooftops. I want everybody to hear this. I became a Kannaway distributor after having been involved on the consultant side for a number of months. I became a distributor only about 6 weeks ago, I guess. And last month then was the first month of involvement in the business. And during that month, I was in Europe for 3 weeks on a cruise ship. And so didn't do so much, but enrolled a handful of people who went to work, some of whom are involved on this session right now. And I am so extraordinarily happy with the financial outcome that people received. I see that, gosh, I think that Kimberly, is Kimberly here this evening? I'm so happy for Kimberly and proud of her. Kimberly was one of the first people who planted her flag in the sand, and she said, I'm going to do this. And you know, Kimberly last month, I know, received one check of $900, and she received another check of $500, and this is the very first month in the business, folks. And I think that is so cool. I think that's so over the top. Another friend, Angie, who's never, to my knowledge, in fact, I know she's never been in a network marketing company, she's never made any money at it ever. Last month, she made over $1,500, her very first month in the business. You know, people join, and we have always the dream. We always have the dream. The dream is for the great big income, and the ability to quit our job and maybe to live a quality of life we couldn't otherwise live. I'm excited about that. You know what I'm more excited about is the ability for people who've been unable to get the key in the lock in any other opportunity in direct selling to begin to get the key in the lock here. My friend Ed, I see, is online. I cannot tell you how thrilled I am for Ed, because Ed has found a message that he believes in enough. This, by the way, is the difference. When you believe in a message enough, then you tell other people about it. Ed's been hanging around me for a long time, but he's never believed in a message enough to actually take the steps that are required to begin to build an organization. And so here is Ed this evening with his new member, Eugene. The difference is belief, and what causes the belief is when I told Ed I was involved in a CBD project, Ed was already using CBD to address various health issues, and his eyes grew wide. He said, I can do that, Randy. The Kannaway compensation plan will pay you extraordinarily well. A couple of quick thoughts that I have. Are that the direct sales bonus allows you to generate significant income quickly at whatever level you join the company. If you join buying the smallest enrollment pack, you'll need to enroll 3 people. Once you've enrolled 3 people, you will have recovered the investment required. The money that you put up to join, you will have back. If you join at the highest level, the executive level, by the time you've enrolled 3 people, you'll have recovered the money. This is our second month in the business, and I am very, very confident right now in saying, taking me out of the loop, because it doesn't matter what I produce, the number's never big enough. But take me out of the loop, I'm really confident saying that we're going to have a few people, not just one. We're going to have a few people earn $2,500 this month. People who have not had past success or experience in the direct selling industry. Why is that? It's because the CBD message is powerful. It's because when a person begins to use the product, it does what it's supposed to do and more. And it's because the compensation plan both provokes correct behaviors and rewards them well. Perhaps sometime soon I'll do an entire session on the compensation plan. I don't just like it, I love it. It's a very simple, well-constructed, uni-level compensation plan. In recent years in the industry of direct selling, there's been a big movement towards a method of compensation that I greatly disliked. This is a uni-level compensation plan, unlike most recent compensation plan designs, and it is truly terrific. I'm really excited to note this next part. I spent enough time. I wanted to be certain that when we really launched the business, though Samantha and I became members a few weeks back, it is now that we really launched the organization. It's this week, because only yesterday did the primary video resources that I consider necessary to build a large successful organization become available. They are available to you, of course, for free by going to randyschroeder.com/blog. And there you will see a series of 9 different videos that are posted. These will shortly be posted also on randyschroeder.com/training videos, and they will be available soon in your Kannaway back office. There is one remaining video that I don't believe is yet posted. It is called Your First Look. That's critically important because I think there's something that each person needs to see as their first look, and conveniently this video is called Your First Look. So all of these resources became available only yesterday, with one remaining, that called Your First Look becoming available tomorrow. I encourage you, if you've not done so yet, to go to randyschroeder.com/training videos and watch them all. There are a group of 9 posted there now. The 10th will be there tomorrow. They're all made with the very short attention span of today's world in mind. They are 3-minute video clips primarily. They are designed to be mobile friendly, and it allows you to be as efficient as I've ever seen in this business. It simply requires, if I'm talking to a person who is my age or older, health becomes paramount. And so my message is, what do you know? My query to them is, what do you know about CBD and the corresponding health benefits? About 1 out of 3 times the message comes back, tell me more, or I know more, or I want to know more, and then I send Your First Look. If the person is younger than me, yesterday I played golf with a great friend who's in a business that I know doesn't produce much income. He's in the golf business and he loves it. So my introductory question to him was, or comment, Matt, I know that you love what you do for a living, but are you making as much money as you want? So at the simple, most baseline level of introducing the business to a new person, it is a handful of carefully chosen words to get out of the way and start to let a tool talk. And these 9 separate videos have been created to guide a candidate through that process. One of them is called Your First Look. One is called Where Are You on the Face of the Clock Dial, helping a new person understand the need for change. Another is called Why Network Marketing. This is an interesting industry. It's easy to say I'm a doctor. It's easy to say I'm an attorney. It's easy to say I'm a dentist. For some people, certainly not for me, but for some people it can be hard to say I'm involved in network marketing. Well, maybe you need to know why network marketing. That video clip does it for you. More importantly, when your prospect says, well, what about this form of doing business? I'm not sure. You send them the video clip. There's one video clip that teaches you how to invite. There's one that teaches you how to correctly and effectively do new member home presentations, and one that teaches you how to do new member orientations. All of them created and available to you right now. They'll be in your back office very soon. I'm extremely, this actually is what gives me the ability to launch a business. It gives you that same ability. Until such time as these resources were available, it was very much like digging a ditch with a shovel. Now we get to work with a backhoe. I'm hoping that you will all be very aggressive in your use of those resources. I referenced a few moments ago my enthusiasm for the fact that people are making money. And in addition to everything else in the compensation plan, in July there was a promotion that a number of our brand newest people were able to take advantage of. The Bridges of San Diego, as luck would have it, that's Samantha and I, okay, the Bridges of San Diego, and then Kimberly, brand new, been involved with the business for a handful of days. I think that is so very cool. Angie, I mentioned Angie Scott, been involved in the business for just a handful of days. Darren Assey, been involved in the business for a handful of days. And Darren, I don't think, would be upset with me saying that he's an example of one who has executed distributor applications in a variety of companies, and the combination of never having something so grab him so he believed enough to act, and what the dynamics were of that opportunity, never really made any money. You know what, I'm pretty confident saying that Darren made more money in his first 4 weeks in Kannaway than he's made in all the years of sticking his toe in the water in a variety of situations. I'm just so very pleased with everything that I see in this company and with everything that is happening in this company. Now, for some of you who, as I've mentioned, are brand new, this next promotion may seem a little bit out of reach for you. It's not. I assure you that it's not. It's called the Sky's the Limit contest. And the way that one participates is by doing $10,000 more business this month than you did last month. If you're brand new, it's actually easier for you than anybody else. Why? Because last month you did no business. That's the truth. You have to do less business than anyone else. If you're brand new, this actually plays to your advantage more than anyone else's. And what I've lived and learned and experienced is that when we can bring people together to participate in what I call major empowering events, this is when we gather trust and confidence and belief and knowledge. And given the tiny nature of this company, the chance that we have today to become integral to the company's success, I cannot overstate the importance of it. The opportunity we have for ownership and management to know you and you to know them. It is, in my estimation, it's a known fact. I know already that the time will come when there will be 10,000 applications a month in Kannaway. The time will come when there will be 50,000 applications a month and beyond that. Today, it's a little tiny business. And because it's a little tiny business, it's easy. Not just easier, like I said, it is easy for you to emerge. It's easy for you to do just a little bit of volume required to qualify for the Sky's the Limit contest, to be with us in San Diego before the convention begins, and to become a known factor. When you know the people who own and operate the company, when they know you, then when the time comes that you need help of some fashion, something we can't anticipate and know about now, when that happens, is everybody cutting out for everybody or just for Tiffany? Tiffany and Stephen cutting out for everybody? Testing, testing, how we doing? We doing okay? We are good. Okay, so Tiffany and Stephen, it looks like maybe it's on your side because I don't see any issues anyplace else. So I encourage you to contemplate the possibility and to realize that it is absolutely possible. This plays to your advantage. If you're the newest person, it plays to your advantage. You have to do less volume than anyone else. When I first got involved with Kannaway, I looked with fascination at a few products that I wanted to be in the back office and that they weren't there. And one of them is Kannaway. This is really cool. It's sort of like chewing up a Starburst, but it has 4 milligrams of CBD and it has a little caffeine bump in it. I really, really like this product. I really like it. And it's available right now in the back office. If you haven't tried it yet, I encourage you to do so. August 27th will be the next opportunity away from San Diego to see a little bigger picture in Kannaway. That will be a red carpet day in Phoenix. Samantha and I will be there. We have a few new group members in Phoenix. There's an organization there that we're coming to support, and I'm hoping very much that you will be there. If it makes sense for you calendar-wise and financially to be there, I believe that the more you know and understand about this company, the more confidence you'll have. If you have confidence, you'll take action. Just that simple. Big confidence and belief levels result in large candidate lists and high activity levels. High activity levels result in improved skills. Improved skills result in improved productivity. That leads to a bigger check, and the belief wheel continues to turn. So I encourage you, whether or not you are going to be there, to make certain that you have either a prospect or someone from your group as a member who is there. Be a part of this. Be a part of every single function at this early stage of the company's business. It will reward you in ways that I can hardly describe. Along those same thoughts, I will I only mention it in passing right now, but upcoming November 11th and 12th will be the annual convention for the company. And the single most certain way, home for you to cement your success in the business is to not just arrive at that conference, but to arrive with people. Let the power of the group do for you what you cannot do for yourself. And I'll make that a primary topic of conversation soon. This is big news, I think. When I first got involved with Kannaway, I looked with fascination at the fact that the company was mailing out paper checks, and that certainly seemed to be a blast from the past to me. I'm very, very happy to note, you probably all saw, that effective today, you can receive electronic transfer as opposed to paper checks. And so I think that's a really cool deal. If you've not yet gone in and signed up your Pay Quicker account, I guess that would mean you haven't earned a commission yet, because commissions that were put in the office today, every person who received that commission received the enrollment link for Pay Quicker. And so we've made it into the modern era. I believe that this simple concept alone, getting away from paper checks and doing electronic funds transfer, will open the door to participation for quite a few people who would otherwise stay on the outside. I want you to know that Samantha and I are both extraordinary committed to this process. We are both very, very, very involved in the process together. We are not just willing but eager to be with you. In the course of the next handful of days, we'll be with a brand new member, Laura, in Carson City, Nevada. Very shortly thereafter, we'll be with some new members in Amarillo, Texas. Excuse me, Kay and Trey. And we're willing to be with you. Oops, hold on. Sorry, something got caught in my throat. At any rate, we want to do it with you. The very best way I can teach you how to do the business is to do the business with you. Let's not just talk to each other about doing the business. Let's do the business together. There will come a time, as I indicated, when this company will be having 10,000 applications per month and then 50,000. There will come a time in the not too distant future when you and your own organizations will be having 100 and 200 and 300 and 500 applications in a month. When that time comes, that'll be a wonderful time, and a lot of new leadership will have emerged. But right now, we are very small. And because that's true, it gives me the opportunity to be involved with every person, and I want to be. Every person, every account, every hope, goal, and dream, they all matter. And by the way, I'll tell you what mine are. My objective, very simply, is that this brand new fledgling organization that we just barely started, my objective is that we have 100 new executive enrollments between now and the end of the month. 100 new executive enrollments in our little organization by the end of the month. Is that easy? No, that's hard. That's a big goal. Do you know what I found out? I have found out that goals that we share with others can sometimes become mutual goals. I invite each of you to make your own goal. What is your goal? My objective is that for our little organization to grow by 100 executive accounts, plus whatever number of other new accounts might join the business during that period of time between now and the end of the month. That's a big goal. To have a goal that size, it means I have to have a lot of willingness. Willingness to talk with you, willingness to talk with your prospect, willingness to help in every single way, willingness to be on the telephone, and willingness to be face-to-face. So, for those of you who are not yet involved in Kannaway, I want to tell you with such emphasis and such certainty that I have not seen something like this in more than 2 decades. This is the most profound and the most obvious opportunity that I have seen for 2 decades. I'm hoping very much that you will each look carefully enough to understand why that is true. And I'm hoping that you will then clear the decks and make enough time available to engage in those revenue-producing activities. I invite you to review each of those videos. Go to randyschroeder.com/blog and watch each of them. And when you watch them, you will come to understand, by the time you've watched those 9 short video clips, you, I believe, will understand why it is that I believe what I believe so completely. If any of you have questions of me, I am eager to answer them. If you're not yet involved in this company, I extend my personal invitation for you to get involved. If I can help in that process, please be in touch. So with that said, folks, I thank you for being here this evening. Understand that this session is held every Monday night, so we'll look forward to it next Monday. And you will also, sometime in the next 5 days, you'll also see a notification of me doing a new member orientation online. Please tune into that. We always store these links and post them on the website as well. So to each of you, I'll tell you that whether or not you believe it, I believe you can do this. I mean, you can really do it. You can not just have a measure of success, you can have major success. So, blowing you a kiss, I'm telling you, I think you're great. Samantha and I are grateful, both to you and for you. Thanks for being in our lives and in our business. God bless you. See you soon. Bye-bye.